All right, so Wednesday we're back out at Train Mountain, a little later than the previous days because we didn't get back from Hope till midnight and probably to bed at 1:30 or something. So
But
we're
let's be real. All you ever allowed was time for maybe a cup of coffee. No, let's just get going.
yeah, we
Exactly.
had
Pretty
things to do.
much.
So
Yep.
we get to the railroad. You and I kind of spent a few hours rail fanning, kind of hitting up different spots, getting footage, and you were had a different quest as far as hopping on a train for a ride. So how'd that go?
Yeah, so I knew I had to ride at least one other train that wasn't ours. So no, I thought I picked a pretty good one. This guy, his name's Dave. He was there the last time we were there. He had this gorgeous beast of a model. He had a Northern Pacific Z5 class Yellowstone number 5002, and to see that up in person is just a beast. I mean, it's just one axle set away from just being a big boy. I mean, that's how big and
Yeah.
impressive that thing was. And he was there last time we were there. His dad also had that triplex that we rode behind, and he followed us on that trip. And believe we have an old YouTube video of that somewhere on the Burlington Little Line
Yeah, I'll
channel.
I'll link it up here on this video.
Sounds
So
good. Yeah, that was no, to see him again and to interact with him again was I had to tell him who I was, and we told him about this video. And he goes, "Oh, yeah, I've seen that video before." I'm like, "Oh, that's good." But something I'll mention real quick is something I wish I would have known ahead of time. So Uncle Gary, him and Grandpa went out to Train Mountain in 2009. What I didn't know, I kind of knew, forgot about. Anyway, he took some home video footage of the Yellowstone and sent it to Dave.
oh, nice.
And so I wish I would have told him that. Then he probably would have even recognized more of our own family members. But no, just getting to ride behind that Yellowstone. Personally, I have a little bit of a soft spot for the Northern Pacific Railroad for reasons I won't get into. But just to get a ride behind it, we went up as far as M&M Junction. We took a little bit of a longer trek than I realized because I'm sure you'll talk about this later. You guys were kind of waiting on me back at the yard to go for a quick run on the steam engine, the 3126. But as we were coming back, we took a little bit of a longer journey than anticipated. We went the Aspen Grove Loop after coming back from M&M, and then we hit Rio Grande, we hit South Meadow, and a little bit of a longer trip. I'm like, okay, I should probably let these guys know it's going to be a little bit of a longer journey than I thought. But no, the ride was totally worth it. I got some really great footage of just him coasting down the rails, and I even got a couple shots, I think, of just a couple run bys. But no, that is a beast of an engine. I think that was definitely another one of my highlights of the trip.
Yeah. How was rail fanning for you?
Oh, so much fun. The people are great. It's just a neat camaraderie that goes on when you're in a specific hobby. And so I loved getting video and still shots of all the different trains. I kind of parked it right by one of the main crossings and just got a lot of footage, a lot of still photos of all the different trains that came by. But I got to visit with a lot of people because a lot of people enter the whole railroad from that direction and met a lot of terrific people too. So yeah, it's just a cool atmosphere, and it's close to the food trucks, and
Yeah.
yeah,
So
very special.
so while you were out on the tracks, I got us steamed up that afternoon. And I mentioned before, I kind of liked going on Klamath and Western first because it acts as a good shakedown track if something goes wrong. And here we are, and I get pulled into the station there, and I don't have any air brakes. All of a sudden, I had a component go out on that, so we kind of quick rerouted and came out of Grand Junction and looped back into the yard. All we had were steam brakes to kind of limp our way in, but it was a quick fix once we were back to where all of our tools are and everything. It's not like here where you're never more than a 2 or 3 minute walk from your tool chest.
Mm-hmm.
So quick fix. About the time I had the air brakes up and running, you got back and we hopped on, and this just turned out to be such a great day. It was honestly probably my favorite day of the trip because the engine ran so well, and we headed down. Went through Dog Walk, which is just such a cool track on its own because it's one of the only spots that's fully signals, bi-directional running on that track. And
Mm-hmm.
then we headed out. through the portal and up to Whitcomb, basically. And then we stopped at Clyde, which we've got some cool shots at Clyde, and I'll post those. I'll show you some photos here, and if you watch our video, we touch on it there. But we're at Clyde. We're having root beer. We're sitting at the picnic bench. We've got the engine in the siding. We're kind of watching trains go by, and we're talking about what a great trip it is because we were supposed to go home the next morning, and the only regret we kind of had was we never truly made a solo trip with our engine to Hope Circle. And the conversation was kind of like, well, you're never guaranteed a trip back here. Like, let's not have any regrets. Yeah. Let's get out here early and make a run for Hope. And we'll touch on that in our next video. But we make that decision, which was kind of cool and, gets the adrenaline going. But then we went and ran our kind of South Meadow and Rio Grande and just got a lot of great footage, taking turns running engines, hopping around the layout, getting videos. And it was just such a cool evening down there.
Mm-hmm. It was very special. And that conversation was one of the coolest moments of the trip for me because it was like, this is going to affect our trip home. We're going to have to push it harder for the long trip back if we decide to do this Hope run the last day. And we're all just like, what is there to think about? It's like, go big or go home. Let's go big. Let's go to Hope again. That was a cool conversation. And then there's the Jarvis thing.
Yeah, we're sitting there, and I get a picture from Jarvis. He can see us we're 3126. We did some family photos, but then we get a picture of Jarvis who had seen us on the cameras on the Train Mountain website, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, so, he was looking out for us for sure.
But you had done the Serpentine the night before on the doubleheader, but now this was your first solo run up the Serpentine on the steam engine. So what was that like? A little different, a little more exciting?
To say it was a little bit more exciting is probably putting it lightly, to say the least. If you watch in the video there, I was probably a little bit too giddy right off the start, just coming out of the siding after we topped off with water and did some servicing before going up the hill. But no, I just feel like I had to kind of go big or go home, as you were kind of mentioning here too. But no, I knew I definitely wanted to get a good run up the hill, reasonably, of course. No, I just feel like you've been touching on this here and there. 3126 just really performed flawlessly, and that was really no different there. I mean, I was able to keep up with pressure. Burners were running great. On top of that, I was probably putting water in maybe half the way up too. Mm-hmm. And just, everything was just kind of running like a top. And I think I was probably even popping off a couple of times here and there. And no, I was just, we got a Pacific here, designed for faster passenger service. And so to say I got a little bit of a good run going up the hill is probably a little bit of an understatement, because I think I probably flew up the hill. I'll put it that way.
It was fun sitting back. We filmed that whole climb of the hill on the phone, and so we've got some cool footage that we'll put out on that. But, we ended the evening earlier than probably most nights. I think we were in the yard about sunset because our thought was like, let's get a bite to eat. We have to go home and pack and get to bed because we're going to hit it hard again for our final day. But it was a lot of fun. Like I said, it was probably my favorite day of the whole trip. So that was a wrap on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.